Hey guys. So I want to talk a little bit. Actually, I want to talk about something I don't want to talk about. A lot of people are talking about certain somebody on YouTube whose diet is very questionable and most likely to be unhealthy for you, and they're focusing a lot on, oh, this person, we should, call her out and blah, 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 blah. And it's sort of focusing on the negative stuff. And just to me, when I'm watching that kind of stuff, after a couple of videos, it gets really boring. Because I'm like, okay, sure. So this person is calling that person bad and for good reasons. And then that person is suing that person. So what's going on there? Two people who you don't know, they're on the internet, who support some sort of idealism about food. They both go into a sort of battle of win and lose. And I don't really like those win-lose situations. I am for right and wrong, but it shouldn't be like in order for you to be right, the other person has to lose. The other person can be wrong, but you can. There's other ways to like negotiate and have win-win situations where if people operate from principles, if there's like two dietitians who say we want to get people as healthy as they can be, what's the most healthy diet? And then one dietitian says like, hey, you know what? I discovered this method and there's some research here. There's some doctors and scientists and researchers who've come up with this data. And actually it turns out that I was wrong and that the diet that you're doing or advocating is also wrong. It's not right. And that's not a personal attack. It's just when those people are sticking to what is the most optimal diet, what is most healthy. So it's not a personal thing. That's just like they want to know the truth and go with the truth. That's how scientists generally work. Like we want to find out the best way something works, and we're open to new information. If something else gets discovered, we'll take that in the equation and we'll adjust accordingly if that's how it really works. But dietitians and fitness people and a lot of YouTubers don't really work like that. So that's why it's really boring to me when they're just like, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And the other person says like, no, I'm going to sue you because I don't like being told that I'm wrong. It's sort of pointless. And I'm like, this is a waste of time to watch. And I'd much rather have people talk about like, hey, what can you do yourself? And where can you find, truth? Where can you find good data on the best diet? And I would say just have a look at nutritionfacts.org or something, and we can all just end this whole discussion. And some people would say like, well, but you have to call out people who give bad advice. I'm like, yeah, you sort of have to warn people for that, but you don't have to take them down, because then you're going down to their level of win and lose again. There's tons of people there advocating a really bad diet, and they have no clue what they're saying at all, and it's not backed up by any research or anything. It's just bro science and stuff. So I would much rather just spend time focusing on, hey, what's healthy? What can you do yourself? How can you do your own research? How can you find stuff? And I think that will be much more of a productive way of sharing information instead of going back and forth with these battles. I get the point that you want to call out somebody who's doing the wrong thing, but I don't know, is that really how you want to spend all the time? It gets a lot of views on YouTube because you take down a popular YouTuber, or at at least try to take down, and then they try to take down you, and then everybody on Facebook is like, oh my god, and in the meantime you get a lot of views, and that's how you get an income, right? So it's like if Oprah would take on Ellen, and it's like, oh yeah, you know, Ellen said this in her show, and that's actually wrong. She's giving bad advice. And then Ellen would go like, oh, I'm suing you, Oprah. And everybody would like, oh my god, these two TV presenters are having a fight. So, what? Are those two people looking at... I mean, I'm not bashing their shows, but I'm just giving an example of two famous people an audience watches. And would it really matter that much if they would sue each other? How is that impacting your life? Not much at all. I mean, why would you care at all? If they're talking about something that you're heavily involved in, like a plant-based diet or a vegan diet or whatever you want to call it, okay, I get that. Ooh, this triggers you, and that's what all this media attention is about, and that's how all those... That's why we click those videos. Like, oh my god, somebody says this about my diet. And then you kind of panic, right? Because, well, that gets me to the next point, is that people identify with their way of eating. And I would say, well, if that's your whole identity... I mean, like, a lot of people say, like, what are you? I'm a vegan. Like, is that everything? Like, I'm a vegan. I don't know. I'm a punk rocker. I'm a metal guy. I'm a hip hopper. That's what you get, you know, when you're a teenager and you listen to certain type of music, or you dress a certain way. And like, I'm a skater guy, and there's all these sort of stereotypes, and people put themselves in these kind of groups, and then they identify with their job, their what they're studying in school, like. I'm a medical student. I'm a law student. Like, wouldn't you rather say like, hey, I'm Tobias and I like doing this and this and that, and you know, I like to hang out with these people and I stand for this and this and that. Just again, it boils down to if people operate from principles, which I don't know. I don't have data on this, but I think just a very tiny percentage of the population does that. We actually have principles, and you live your life in accordance with those, or in line with those principles. Not a lot of people do that. And if more people did that, then I don't think you would have these talks in bars, you know, on Friday evening. Hey, what do you do? Oh, I study law. It's like, oh, that's interesting. What year are you in? Oh, yeah, I'm in the 3rd year. What are we even talking about? Like, what do you love to do? What's your life about? What do you want to do with your life? I mean, that's a hard question. And people avoid it all the time, and they'd just much rather have 2 beers instead of answering that question, or even ask it, because then somebody else is going to ask it to them, and they don't know the answer either. Anyway, so yeah, is talking drama about this and that person and win-lose situations, is that really healthy and a productive way of spending your time? I don't know, I get bored with those videos a lot. If you get bored with those videos, let me know in the comments, and let me know what else you would rather see on YouTube, because a lot of people are going around on the same topic and they just squeeze it out. And yeah, I think there's a more healthy conversation that we could have online. Okay, thanks for watching. Subscribe and let me know what you want to see. Bye bye.